fostering innovation and mutual growth in space sector. And I would request Mr. Prakash to please do the honors and take the session forward from here, and also introduce to our esteemed panelists. I'll just take a moment for everyone to please be seated. I request Mr. Essex from floor IG, and then I request BHE-Bonn Hungary, Electronics KFT, Mr. Jonas, I'm so sorry if I'm taking the pronunciation wrong, and Mr. Kriti, Calvin, from Orient Space Generation Foundation, Dr. Ronald, Mr. Attilia, Mr. Gregory, Hungarian Solar Physics Foundation, Professor Dr. Robert, from Meteor Astronautical, MANT, and we have Mr. Zsigmond.
Yes.
Is it so? Yeah, thank you. Mr. Zsigmond from our deputy head from Sendor Kunsker expert, and then I think we're done, and we invite all the esteemed panelists to be here on the dais so that we can start with a great session.
Hello. His Excellency, thank you very much for your kind attendance. SIA-INDIA is very proud and privileged to host the Hungarian session this group. And we have a very privileged participant, very knowledgeable. So we will talk about the global flow. And from SIA-INDIA, I think we are inching, or not inching, very small. So I think we are building our relationship, and I think this is there's evident the presence of His Excellency and Hungary himself, and also this morning in the inaugural session. We also have some meeting this morning with Inforter to bring B2B, our industry connect. So that is good. I hope coming days we will be our activities will start taking up moving, and of course you will see things on the ground. And I hope I will desire that in next India Space Congress there will be much larger Hungarian presence in terms of participants, in terms of the knowledge sharing and things. So with my heartfelt thanks, and I will definitely please carry forward your contribution. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, distinguished guest, Ambassador. It's a great pleasure I can moderate this distinguished group of panel. Me myself, I'm Zsigmond, and I'm the Vice President of Inforter. And originally, the name was Hungarian panel, but I'm deeply honored that we have an Hungarian-Indian panel today. So thank you very much for joining us, Deputy Director. So it will be much interesting like that we have also the view of the Indian part. So what I wanted to say on the beginning is that it's unbelievable, even such a small or smaller country, of course, like Hungary and India, that we have now the second man in space. And for this event, there are plenty of organizations, enterprises, and the whole sector is upcoming and upraising in Hungary because of this event. So I think what we are going to be interested today is actually if there is a possibility that Hungarian companies and Hungary, in sense of regional, can be a regional power in certain years in space technology, in space and defense. This is a big question. I think this is, of course, one of the future fields of business, also, of course, in defense. And we have today in this panel, of course, companies who are big in Hungary, but are just on his way or are just trying to come to other markets like India. We have companies who are already operating here in India. And of course, we have also associations and NGOs who can give us some insights. And maybe I take the opportunity to ask you by yourself to introduce yourself, maybe tell us something about your company, about your organization, and maybe if you want to share it with us, why you work in this matter, why space, and why not something else, why it has been interesting so much for you. So maybe, Janos, if you start. You keep it, okay. So, Deputy Director, please.
Thank you so much, and I'm privileged to be a part of this panel. So I am Kriti, Khatri. I work with in Space Department. This is a new department. It's just 3 years old. It's Indian Space Promotion and Authorization Center that came up recently after the space reforms were done in India to bring the private sector, to promote the private sector participation in space. So before that, I was a part of Space Application Center that is also that belongs to ISRO, ISRO, the known organization worldwide. Working with space, the basic, the point from where it started, it's to bring space for the use of common people. It's from where Dr. Sarabhai brought this organization, ISRO, and it is from there only I am coming up. As we already know, space belongs to everyone, and it's where we all need to work together, synergize, and thus use the space for the benefit of each and every person. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Janos?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Janos Selmeci. I'm the company founder and director for space and defense of BHE-Bonn, Hungary. It is our privilege and our honor to be here again in India. We started our presence here in India 5 years ago, so India is almost the second home country to us. And during these years that we have been establishing very fruitful and very important cooperations with almost every player and participants of the Indian high-tech sector, space and defense. And this occasion when yesterday both the Indian and the Hungarian astronauts visited the International Space Station together, this is just a highlight again that yes, there is a peaceful cooperation in space, and we are just hoping that it will also ignite new opportunities for the cooperation.
Thank you. Aron?
Yes. For some of you probably are familiar from the previous session. I am Aron from the Hungarian Astronautical Society. It's a non-profit organization in Hungary for education of students, raising awareness of space. For example, providing hands-on activities for students building smaller size of satellites and launching them with a rocket into a few kilometers high and testing them, testing these satellite models there. The other side of the organization is for industry, a gathering platform, providing workshops in project management, funding acquisition, frequency legislation and other topics. And how did I end up with this activity? I am actually a chemical engineer, but I was always interested in space, and I participated in traineeship at the European Space Agency, got some experience in in-situ research utilization, regulate utilization of oxygen extraction, 3D printing. And then when I was at ESA, I recognized how this mechanism is working between agencies and industry, how the collaboration, funding acquisitions is working. And I got more and more interested, and I have seen some potential where in Hungary this activity, the space sector, is further developed. And now I am also opening further and further. I'm here now in the conference catalog of the Hungarian space sector, and many of you already could hear it and see it. And I wish I could you as well. I already have your links, business cards today.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your insights and introducing yourself and your company, your organization. Maybe I will start with a very simple question, but I think this is one of the most important questions today because we are here. What do you think? What can Hungarian companies learn already? Which knowledge and knowledge transfer can we have from Indian companies, from Indian organizations? And maybe, in which fields are we maybe advanced, and where can we give some knowledge or knowledge transfer to Indian companies, to Indian organizations? Maybe Aron, you start. Maybe. Okay.
I will take the question from the point of view of an association, but I would also add that in the previous session we discussed that India has a certain interest in planetary missions, and Hungary has a good expertise in building power distribution units for this mission, so that's a very important collaboration point. But if I would take from an association point of view what Hungary could learn from India, in this conference I was amazed at how Indian people are taking a step forward. They approach people really fast, going to their points, trying to sort out immediately where point of collaboration, connection will be established in a fast way. And also, this is another point of in a fast way, not through several steps. Now, another panelist already. And what made India could also acquire from Hungary? Well, in Europe, we have a certain way how we work through projects with fundings, and also not only fundings, but also knowledge sharing, technology, and with space agencies. And this can be sometimes, this process requires quite some steps. You need to be familiar with this. And I believe maybe India could learn with us how these things, let's say, working, and it could be easier for them as well later to integrate and participate even more than now.
Thank you.
I think that we Hungarians can learn from our Indian colleagues, Indian partners. For example, the dynamism, the enthusiasm, and also the commitment, what we have been experiencing during so many years. And what we can see that the development and the technology development is skyrocketing and boosting. And this is this is inspired us also to finding new cooperation. And then I remember well that 30 years ago, when I first came to India, that was a completely different country. And I can compare year by year or every 50 years that how much is the improvement. I can tell you that this curve is not linear, but it's a little bit exponential, and therefore it is also our plan to further develop the cooperation. And then you have a very high level of educational system, and you have top-grade universities, you have top-grade scientists and engineers, and now you self-develop technologies what was not available before. And then it opens the gate and opens the way to step into other type of cooperation, what years before your Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, explained that the Make It India, and that it show the cooperation is a little bit different and changing the way, and that we are very open to participate in this type of cooperation as well, and vice versa. It would be better to ask our Indian colleagues that what are the things that they could learn from us, but I think that it is a win-win situation. We have so many partners, customers here in India, and that we recognize it day by day that it is not just a one-way street.
Thank you, and Ms. Deputy Director, if you take the first.
Yes, it's correctly said by my colleagues that my panelists that there is already a lot of exchange that is happening, and company from Hungary has already been participating in ISRO space program since last 25 years. Electronic components have been supplied for missions. In this case, both the countries are experts in their domains, and there are many good engineers, scientists available at both the sites, and the private startups at both the sites are working very hard. So in this scenario, I will be able to help form a bridge that I can say between the Hungary startups and the Indian startups, so that they can work together, they can have co-production, sharing of technology, and proceed forward in this domain. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, and Arisz was lost in space, but now arriving, he was on the other panel. So maybe just I asked all the other panelists to shortly introduce themselves. Maybe the company they're representing, and the first question when you arrived was actually what Hungarian companies can learn from Indian companies and might learn from Indian companies from Hungarian companies. So these two questions you can answer on the same thing.
Thank you very much. First of all, excuse me for being late. I was sitting on another panel which I'm a bit late, but it was a very good conversation. So, my name is Arisz Kecskes, and I'm a corporate strategy manager with Perenyi Space and Defense Technologies, which is the first enterprise in Hungarian space and defense. We are looking after multiple domains, but one of the most prevalent is space. Perenyi Space and Defense Technologies is a holding company with, on the space side, with the strategy to become a end-to-end vertically integrated remote sensing and satellite service provider, and this we want to achieve through our portfolio companies and covering most of the satellite value chain. On the spacecraft manufacturing side, we have Jonas, which on the mission operations and ground segment side, we have our portfolio company called AGT, and then the data analytics portion for our remote sensing and satellites we are building out in-house because there are some cross-segment synergies. Referring to our to the first question, this is actually my first time in India. We have had a lot of conversations with different entities on the Indian market in different shows, and have started discussions, collaborations. We see a huge potential in the Indian market, obviously, as many do. What I think is a cornerstone is mutual trust, which needs time to build up. And this is why I'm here today to start this process of building up trust and find good partners with whom we can really build strategic collaborations with. What I've seen thus far about the partnerships that we started to structure is that there is excellent business acumen and a very pragmatic way on how these Indian companies are looking at the business and how fast-tracked everything goes, especially if we compare it to our BCSS standards in Europe mostly. So this is definitely something where we can learn on how to really jump in and then get our hands dirty and start working on projects. And I'm very much looking forward to jump into these projects and start some good things.
Aron, I would have maybe two questions to you, dedicated to you. First, you said you are very much into education programs. Can you tell us, I would also be very interested, what does it mean that you educate young people? Do you want that people speak more about space technology, that young people know much more about space and astronautology? So what does it mean that you give education to young people? How do you do it maybe? What are your main focusing points? And then maybe you could also speak a little bit about, because you are not representing a company, but an association, an NGO. And NGOs always have the task to build bridges somehow.
Yes.
So how could you help your association, also for Indian companies, associations, to get more in international cooperation?
Yes. Okay. So then for the first part of the education, let's say our main mission, our main goal to catch the attention of the students, of the young from the beginning. So it can start from the primary school up to actually early professional career. But let's say we start from the primary school and we provide, for example, some competition, like drawing competition, or when they get a bit older, they learn a bit more about STM subjects and areas. Then quiz competitions, team competitions, and also individual ones. And when they get older, like for example this secondary school stage, then in Europe we have the so-called CANSET competition, where as I should briefly mention, they take like a size of a polar can and they build a small hardware unit in that. It started with a competition where they just had to send a proposal with 3 pages, and after that they could by themselves develop this small units, and we were basically building rockets for them to launch it in a few kilometers high, to release it, and with a parachute they could descend and test telemetry, test payload communication, test payloads, test working principles. And by now the competition develops. Now they write such a long proposal, 20 pages, with several reviews. I think most of you will be familiar with expressions like CDR or PDR, and they complete this kind of cycles. Sometimes when I look at these proposals, I could say maybe I will learn something than what I didn't know before, because it got that serious. So I would say it's really a preparation for not just for university that they get there, but also to actually hands-on later work on CubeSats or larger satellites. And when they come to the industry, for example, for IG or BHE, they will be ready engineers with experience already. So this is our education part. But we also collaborate with schools, and we also participate in ISRO's educational program. We are kind of implementing their program in Hungary for designing bases, for example, or at least according to their level of the students. What could be expected from them to already know, and what they can also learn. And for the second question, how our association can build the bridges with India. As I mentioned, I came here with this catalog, the Hungarian Space Kaleidoscope. It's really like a catalog of the Hungarian space industry, and I tried to talk with many of you to share this catalog, and I believe that sharing with each other is kind of the better basis. We can identify collaboration points, and we can start to initiate any collaboration already, or we can, for example, organize visits. Like how we were coming from Hungary to here to this conference, we would be also happy to invite Indian companies. And I believe that nowadays, personal contacts, personal visits have even more value than before, since we are all the time in the online sphere. when these companies come to Hungary, for example, delegation, but also even just alone, and provide some presentation, some workshops about their capabilities, and after that visiting countries, I believe there is a good chance that we will create sustainable connections and meaningful connections and collaborations and joint missions, joint activities.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ms. Deputy Director, maybe two questions maybe. First, what are really your advices? How can you help? How can the government of India, how can your organization help more Hungarian companies can appear here in India? Maybe, if it's allowed, then you can give us a little insight. Which other countries do you have deeper cooperation? Which is far more than Hungary, which is maybe on the same level? Do you have other countries nearby Hungary, for example, Central Europe, where you have already cooperation?
Okay, as I said previously that we help form bridge.
Yeah.
So our organization main task is that. So for the promotional activities, you can invite us for if any space conference is there. So you can invite us. We bring the startups and a delegation from India so that the startups and people over there can interact and that bridge is formed. We also help conduct space days, and till now we have done it for 7 countries. So 7 occasions we did that, and apart from that, we have space parks in India where Indian NG as well as NG from Hungary, the startup from Hungary, they can come together, they can work and they can move forward, they can co-produce, they can have a co-technology. In that fashion, they can work and move ahead. And what all should I add? Like
No, it is totally up to you. Thank you very much.
yes, and we have had this with different organizations like with the Australia also we took a delegate, to Europe also we took a delegate in IAC. So that way we are giving visibility to our NGs and also helping the other countries be a partner to that.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm of course, we are a 10 million country, 10 million inhabitants, but I'm really extremely proud that we have a company operating here in India with a huge experience and since years. And of course, I could ask now a lot of questions about what your experience is, where you want to be in 5 years and so on, all these questions, but I think that Janos prepared a little sum up, a presentation, where we would like to speak about this huge knowledge, what was built in these last years, since the company is here operating in India. So maybe, Janos, can you show us this presentation? Thank you.
Nowadays, the information transfer, visual information transfer is much more powerful and effective than just a verbal one. So I'm trying to combine both. And the reason is I prepared with this presentation because just would like to highlight the tradition and the cooperation which started decades ago between India and Hungary. And then may I ask which button? Yeah, okay. Scientific cooperation started almost 50 years ago between universities and research institutes, investigation of ionosphere, magnetosphere, and the Vista defect study, and lots more. And also in different technologies like electronic signal intelligence during the 80s. That was a huge cooperation between all countries. And then My company started the cooperation here in India in 1995 and in the space and defense sector. On that picture you can see that those places where these institutions are located. This is our company headquarters in Budapest. This is an 11,000 square meter high-tech facility. You can see the antenna, that this is a navigation point in the city, that where to go, that is a reference point. I listed our main business partners in space and defense. I do not want to mention one by one. It's almost every players of the Indian space and defense sectors. The ISRO organizations and our core competencies are RF and microwave and satellite communication, radar technology, and this one. So we can probably say that we have been participating in all the major space programs of India with different subsystems, LNAs, frequency converters, SSPAs, frequency synthesizers listed there, and Chandrayaan 1, 2, 3, 4, the moon mission, the Mangalyaan Mars mission, which very proud of it, and also recently was the PADEX, the docking experiment, and also the moon mission. This is a system concept, how the Mars mission was, how the trajectory, and how your space road reached the moon in more than 10 years ago. These are the equipment we delivered to instruct people, and it was established in several control stations, including the tracking ships of ISRO, the Mangalyaan and the Nalanda still are in a good condition. Also for under the pressure, market pressure from Europe and other parts of the world, we developed some state-of-the-art SATCOM equipment and systems up to Q-band, which are working very well. And one of our expertise is also the deep space communication, both the ARIX and uplink and downlink. You can see this 2 kilowatt system. We made the upgradation of the deep space communication link of the German Space Agency, DLR. We are also involved in a space segment, not only in the ground segment, in the lunar communication, but these two lines you can see here, that's the onboard X-band fully SDR-based digital communication equipment with a power amplifier. One of them is exhibited in our booth, so if you are interested, you can come over. And since we have this capability and also the production, this is a platform as well to offer for the Indian space community to cooperate with us in the lunar mission program, because we can provide this state-of-the-art equipment for this program. We can contribute. These are just some internal photos. Really state-of-the-art. Everything is implemented in FPGAs. This is just some signal received, and this one is a full beam steering and full duplex communication terminal developed to be used on board of the ISS, and it is also could be a part of a potential cooperation with ISRO. That's since space and defense communication and radar technology are highly overlapping technology, that it was a natural decision to also doing these things. And those type of technologies, what we developed for space application, we used also in the defense portfolio as well. This unit is a fully digital telemetry transmitter, what are used in your Rustom 2 drone program for years. This one is just quite technical. This is an indication that how clean quality signal we can provide, and it had 8 years of space flight heritage in different satellite missions. We also contribute to the success of the airborne telemetry communication of India. This is the Tejas light training aircraft, what our equipment are used in this system. HAL Hyderabad is also a good partner. We developed and manufactured plenty of different airborne subsystems. These are similar things: TACAN, IFF, phase array radar, TR modules. This one is a C-band fully digital altimeter, and this one is subsystem for synthetic aperture radar, which are the very modern mapping type of radars, and developed in different frequency bands up to Ku band. This particular unit is also that one. We also have capability of high data rate, which means that higher than 1 gigabit per sec onboard fully digital transmitter up to 64 ATSK modulation, fully software-driven software control. Have very good heritage of that one. More than 10 years ago, we participated in the AIS, Russell Tracking Satellite Technology, and some of the technology what we use in this drone communication originates from this one, because the first item we developed was this application. Also, high power SSP system, fully remote monitoring and control. We have in our facility everything what is needed to be able to assemble and manufacture space qualified payloads with clean rooms and thermal vacuum chambers and AMC lab, vibration lab, whatever it is, leading down to the ISO 6 cleanliness level. And altogether, 1,000 plus BHE products are delivered and are in operation all over India in different sites for close to 30 years. And as I already mentioned, we are open to participate in the Make in India program. And finally, thank you all the past, present and future partners, Indian partners, for the opportunity to cooperate. Thank you for.
Thank you very much for the presentation within the panel. Thank you, it was very interesting, and I think much more worth than just asking you questions, so thank you. Arisz, also coming, you are representing a really huge company from Hungary. Also, it makes me proud that there is a company which is really from scratch, being a big player, not just in Hungary, but regionally and also around the world in technology, telecommunication, communication. Of course, for you, space and defense, space is a new subject, a new task to get in. Do you think? I have two specific questions. Do you think that what do you need? How can, for example, an organization, a government organization, help you to come to India, to establish business, to get on the market? And do you think that Hungary can be in 5 to 10 years as in the field of telecommunication, let's say a regional power in space and defense technology? Where do you see your company? What do you think about the Hungarian opportunities, especially, of course, for your company?
Thank you. I think I'm going to start with the second part. We're working very hard to establish ourselves as a not only regional but global stakeholder who is significant in both the space and defense domains. One quick correction around the heritage part. So while the holding itself is very new, the portfolio companies that are within the holding have quite significant heritage. Obviously, this new structure is a new thing. For Space and Defense Technologies essentially acts as an oversight and management board for different portfolio companies to facilitate large-scale project integrations. And then getting back to the first question, what we are looking for, and this is one of the main reasons I'm here, is to assess what kind of opportunities there are, what projects we could initiate, and what is very helpful, and what organization with the Indian government could help with is to raise awareness about capabilities that we have, and then maybe match it up with capabilities that are here, so we can start to work together. What I believe is the best way to start in the market is a common project that we can start on. This can be facilitated from Hungary, can be facilitated from India. Nevertheless, I think the best way to really open to the market is to start working on something. And then obviously G2G relations are also quite important, but luckily they are very good, diplomatic and government relations, so that's quite nice.
Thank you. Janos, do you have a specific wish, maybe to in-space, to the government of India, where they can help you to establish you even more here on the Indian market?
I don't think so. It should be a special one, but because the Indian government has their own processes and rules and tendering systems. So during so many years, we already learned how to participate in, and also with the kind help of our local representative here in India, Perenyi, from whom we learned a lot how to be present here in India. But of course, it would count a lot if there would be, let's say, some high-level agreement between the governments and which would be open for both for the Indian and the Hungarian participants, and trying to combine the skills, the experiences, and the heritage on a win-win basis. So I cannot give you good advices because you know that it's much better one, but if there would be such opportunities, definitely not only my company, but I guess that some other Hungarian companies would participate with pleasure.
Of course, not advised, but as I said, it's a wish. And maybe if you could answer. Thank you.
We are in discussion with MEA, the Ministry of External Affairs, to have some specific engagements with different countries, and we are looking forward when this will materialize, and we'll surely come to Hungary for the collaboration thing. Apart from that, there are, like the collaboration with BHE goes a long way back, how BHE is contributing to our space programs already. And recently, one NGO from Hungary has approached us for CANSAT, so we already have connected them, and we have told them about the model operatory competition that we do every year. Also, they were inquiring about CubeSat. Also, we have connected them with Mission Shakti, initiated by the Indian startup NG, that they are trying to send a lunar orbiter in which 12,000 girl students from across the globe will be participating in this mission. So Hungary can also be a part of that. And apart from this, the FDI, the Foreign Direct Investment Policy of India, has been relaxed. So now if we, a collaboration where the investment can come into some joint collaboration, something can be worked out between both the space sector, the private sector working in this domain. Apart from this, we have many missions like the SMILE and the POEM mission that take, SMILE takes SSLV platform and POEM takes PSLV platform, in which the startups can send their small experiments or demonstrations, and they are very cost effective. So anyone from Hungary can collaborate, can co-produce with Indian startup and send their small thing as a proof of concept that can be done, and so it becomes space qualified. And apart from that, we have in our startup ecosystem, one or two NGs have already flown hosted payload from other countries. By respecting both the regulations from both the countries, we could flew them, and they are working. So this kind of small collaborations are already there, and we already promote them. And with FDI and all these relaxations, surely the way ahead is quite good for both the countries to go ahead.
Thank you so much. Before, I don't know if it's allowed, but if I can allow it, maybe I give also the possibility for the audience to ask some questions. I don't know if the organizers allow it. Thank you. But before maybe a last question to you all. You must not answer. Maybe not a little bit out of this round, but we had until now. Hungary. If we speak about technology, 10 million inhabitants. India, of course, 1.4 billion. Do you see technological development, space and defense? Can Hungary be alone as Hungary taking part, in all these researches, or do we see here much more a European Union funded technologies, funds, that we can say European Union and of course Hungary, but within the European Union in cooperation with other European countries, of course scratching then and catching Indian technological advance or US advance. So do you see Hungary by itself, or do we see Hungary, let's say, within the European Union with the European funds? Or what is important for it? So maybe Arisz, if you start.
Sure. So space, especially space in Europe, is, in my opinion, and I think most people's opinion, only really understandable in the context of international collaboration. One of the cornerstones is European Space Agency, but now the EU is getting more and more advanced there as well. Obviously, even if we get the larger countries within Europe, France, Germany, Italy, who have advanced space economies and space industries, cannot compete alone. That's why the European Space Agency is there, that's why the EU is there. Can we, as like an emerging space station, become competitive? I believe so, I hope so. Do we need to utilize national social incentives as well? I absolutely think so. We need to have our national programs. We need to have. We need to really pragmatically build our strength that we have chosen to go towards, be it Earth aggregation, be it RFP, be it all the technical level. We need to find niches and then really stick to it and utilize as many international opportunities as possible. And this is the only way that we can become remotely competitive. That's a whole other situation whether Europe can be competitive with other space-faring nations. It's debatable, but I'm very hopeful that there's going to be some reform that really canalizes our competitiveness. But that might not benefit too much the smaller stakeholders, which is Hungary. So it's, we'll see. But that's the short answer.
Jonas, maybe if you want to also answer this question, and maybe if you can add, did you already, your company, did you participate already in a European program like Horizon or other programs with other countries within Europe?
We have been participating in the ESA controlled projects, and currently we have 3 or 4 such running projects. One of them is for 2 of them is for deep space, and there is also one more which is under preparation. So So I hope that very soon it will be started. And I would add something because I'm representing the industry and the company side. Of course, the cooperation at scientific level and the theoretical level is good. But since we have 3 decades of real-life experience how to co-work with our Indian partners, I know very well because they are telling me these things that yes, they have also some resources which are used to develop new products, new technologies, and they are delivering to the market. Although the Indian domestic market is huge compared to the Hungarian one, but for those much bigger companies, right? The company size are different, the PL and HAL and the others, that's much bigger companies. And then they are also targeting third markets. And this can open new opportunities on the basis of the mutual advantages. Because we have also circuit markets and business contacts all over the world. Our Indian partners, they have also, perhaps in some cases these are overlapping, but in most of the cases not overlapping. And then if we develop jointly some products and technologies, and it is a good thing to sell it on third markets. And using, again, not just the technology, but also the market advantage. Whenever it is more advantageous to raise the Indian flag, it's okay. In some other markets, we can raise the Hungarian flag, and it's so if there is an organized frame how to manage that, and this could be a good help and contribution from the government or the governments at both sides that can improve the efficiency of this type of cooperation.
Do you also, because I was asking more now about Hungary and the European Union, but
so as I said in the starting that we will be helping to promote and form the bridge, and I will be very happy to help form that bridge between both the governments.
Before giving to the audience, then Aron, Hungary versus the world, Hungary plus European versus the world, what is your opinion?
So my opinion that nowadays, if you look on the geopolitics, I would say it's clear that basically every country needs to have certain capabilities to be ready to attend. So I would say just to enter a space for any country, it already requires some of these capabilities without the current situations as well. So I would say yes, in certain level we need to develop, as India as well of course, their capabilities, but there is a certain level, depends on different sectors, it's a different level for every sector, where yes, really worth to start the collaboration, really worth to kind of work together, not like being dependent on each other, but literally just collaborate and not really compete on the sides. And about Hungary and India, or Hungary in the European Union and India, I would say definitely worth to start direct conversations at first on the smaller level, for example Hungary and India, and when these collaborations are working well, advanced, well established, then could bring this as a result to the European Union and showing that we should extend this and combine more countries, and it could be in this way building further collaborations, and of course European Union, but also with ESA, with USPA as well, with the EU agency. Yes.
Thank you so much. I would like to ask the audience, do you have questions to our dear panelists? But, yes.
Thank you for the insightful discussion. I'm Nitish from InSpace, and I saw BHE products. So I have two questions, two parts of the question. One is there was a mention of synthetic aperture radar. So I just wanted to understand if you have delivered SAR payload to any of the Indian NGs so far within the span of these 30 years. And second part to all of you is what areas in space sector in Hungary do you see that Indian companies can invest and have good returns and it is of mutual benefit?
Thank you. Regarding the first part of your question, synthetic aperture radar, this is quite complex, but is a highly demanded mapping radar technology. Is all-weather 724 operation. Nowadays, it's also possible to use it down to the 10 centimeter resolution if necessary. And the applications are endless. I do not start to list them because most of you know it very well. My company, we have a long heritage in this technology, and what we focus, because as I said, our basic heritage is RF and microwave. We developed quite a lot of different type of front ends for different frequencies and different applications. But still, we do not have a completed SAR equipment. I can tell you why. Not because it would not be possible to make it, but we are a private company. We must focus on the real project, which has a real demand behind, and therefore we established a good relationship with some system integrators who had a high level of digital signal processing and especially sound processing capabilities, and we share the work. We deliver the high quality microwave front end, which is also a very important part of that, and they added the thing. And I know that here in India there are organizations and even private companies who has high level signal processing and SAR technology. So this would be a good thing, and thank you for the question. So we are very open to collaborate with those organizations. And regardless, this is airborne or spaceborne or shipborne or whatever it is. The second part of your question, if we compare the market size and the volume of the two countries, we are not on the same scale. So this is the reason that although it's possible, but at the moment I think that you have much better chance to cooperate with Hungarian entities to target certain markets, where the market size is large enough to invest energy for the technologies and so on. But definitely you can find such partners in Hungary. If you ask me, we are one of them, but probably there are more.
Thank you. Last.
Yes. So for the second question, I would add some key areas because, as I mentioned, I also know this catalog and I can show it later as well. So some key areas Hungary is expertise in: power subsystem units, power distribution for planetary missions, for example, the Rosetta mission and the Lopicolbo. Our scientists and their spin-off companies are also part of it. Beside these two great companies, we also have a company for thermal insulation layers, coatings, development with several many years of experience, with some exact contracts as well. There are companies for material science, composite development, radiation shielding, metal ceramic composites. Also, we have another material science company for propulsion development, in space propulsion. And beside that, I can mention also the capabilities in optics, especially universities, research groups not only, but mainly those. And there are a couple of companies also for downstream sector, for data analytics, especially for agriculture actually, from Earth observation data. And yes, I don't take more time, but if you have more questions, I can also show the catalog. I have it here, and we can look into it. And also we can exchange information, and I can send it in online version as well. It's available.
Thank you so much, and of course you can speak with all the panelists after the session. It was a great honor that I could moderate this very, very interesting discussion. Thank you again for you, Deputy Director, that this is not just Hungarian, but Indian-Hungarian panel. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jonas, Arisz, and Aron. And thank you for listening and for your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to our all esteemed panelists. Indeed, it was a great Indo-Hungarian one. And I would like you all to just stay for a couple of minutes so that Mr. D.S. Govindarajan can hand over a small token of memento from SIA-INDIA, and we can also have a group picture.
I request the Perenyi ambassador to do the honors.
Oh, sure.
Yes. Can you please have a round of applause as
Yeah, sure. Yes. Here? This way. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you so much, Inspector of His Excellency. Please can we request for a group picture with the panelists?
Group, sure.
We take this with us?
Yes,
Okay.
of course.
Good.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I will look here.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Once again, thank you so much, our esteemed audience, for the wonderful session. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now ready for networking lunch. All staff will meet again at 2 p.m. at the same hall for an exciting round of sessions. Thank you so much.
I don't know. Reach out and they say they want to I just yes, a moment. Oh, thank you. Moment, I think when I back.
Yes, I am.
Just I will come back. Hello,